And hello, Shock fans. This is your beloved Soldier of the Inverted Cross, Rip the Full-Blown Freak Show, aka the Gold Member, here for another Rip's Robot Mode Reviews. And today we're having a look at Transformers Studio Series Leader Class Dark of the Moon Megatron. A custom, a little bit of a custom I did to him as well. Now this was a figure when they announced him. I was really hyped for him, and then I watched all the reviews so I could weigh the pros and cons on, and cons is pun intended, on if I wanted to get this guy, since normally I don't go for leader class just because them being like $50 now, it's normally a thing. I would just get Voyagers and Deluxes, usually just Voyagers, and I really love this design for Megatron, so that was what I was going on, because the Revenge of the Fallen is perfectly fine for me for what I needed of a large Megatron to look tough and look good on the shelf with the other cons. But this one, like I said, after seeing all the reviews, after seeing the photos and stuff, I really did want him, and I'm really happy that I picked him up. The Walmart I went to had about 6 of this guy, I think, and like 4 of Jetfire. So I mean, they had a good stock of them. That was awesome. As far as like what he came with, he's already, I can tell you right now, he beats the shit out of the one that came out back in the Dark of the Moon movie. Because that one just came with a tarp and some like fusion cannon that formed the back of a truck instead of his actual shotgun. And then like a few years later, we got the Evasion Mode Optimus that came with the gun to go with that figure, which was just really stupid. They just didn't give us his main weapon for that movie with the toy. But Hasbro did give us the gun. It looks really well done on one side. And then the other side is unpainted, which I will be painting. That goes right in this hand, no problem. Then the other accessory came with was this tarp, which is fine. It just doesn't lay very well. Not to my taste. This is what I wanted. I like the concept of a black tarp with the chains on it, real metal chain. Nothing wrong with that one. It was perfectly fine in a package, but I really do like this because I made the hood a separate piece, so it could move more freely and look good the whole way around, and look connected to the actual cloth. The next accessory he came with was the one that actually, one of the things that sold me on this guy, was because they did not have to include this. The fact that Hasbro sculpted and gave us an Igor figure just overjoyed me. I know he did next to nothing in the movie, and why would he get a toy, but I'm really happy they did this. And he's got little ball jointed shoulders, and then the legs are just connected by one joint, so you can have him like sitting down, basically, or whatever on Megatron's shoulder. And that's plenty of, I thought he'd be a static figure. That's plenty more articulation than, an Igor figure should have. I mean, this is great that we got this little guy. Now, as far as scale, before we get into, like, talking about the figure here, here he is with the other one I picked up that day, and, yeah, it's not going to show up too well, but he's way taller than Scrap Metal here, and I will be reviewing Scrap Metal. He's a really nice figure. What I did was just basically cut some cloth, laid it over him, made a hood for the head, connected it with a wire, and I'll be showing that when I take it off, and just wrap some chain around him. I won't be taking this off because if you want to see a review of just what he looks like, you can watch, there's plenty of other reviews you guys can see. I just wanted to show you what I did to help improve the figure. One of my main gripes with this guy is the head isn't superposable, and I wish it was because it is a ball joint. We will take the hood off, and this will show you one more gripe I have, and I don't really want to complain about this because it's not bad, it's just different. That head looks really good, but it is nowhere near as battle damaged as he was in Dark of the Moon. Like, he has an eye there. He had an eye in the movie, but, like, there's just a little bit of red up here. This should be, like, completely gone. Like, it looks phenomenal. It's a beautiful head sculpt, beautifully painted, beautiful detail. It just, doesn't look exactly like the movie, which is weird because Studio Series has normally been dead on nailing these. Like, and there's nothing wrong with this one. I have a poster of the Dark of the Moon Megatron in my room here, and I can tell there is a good difference in this, but it's still not it's not bad. Again, one of the hot problems I had with this guy, though, was there was hollowness in the chest. And that's been covered up by this cloth. You can't see through him anymore. You know, that covers up a lot of that. And the other problem I have is the pelvis, because the legs aren't very articulated, the right here tends to untap a lot if you're trying to pose him around. And then this isn't too bad, but he does have some kibble on the back of the leg. It helps keep him stable, which that's fine with me. I can actually have him doing a few different variety of poses, and if you have a little on the back of the legs to do that, I'm totally fine with it. As far as articulation, I'm going to be very quick and just kind of tell you what he's got. The head cannot rotate very far to each direction. It can look up a good bit. Hoping there is like a mod or something I can do to make that more posable. There's a somewhat of a butterfly joint in here with the way he transforms, and then you can get the arms up. And the cape I made doesn't hinder it forward, back. His elbows can go really far up, further than this. There's a swivel in them as well. It basically doubles as the bicep swivel for him. The legs on this guy, if you try to move them out, they're going to unpeg, and they can't really go back. They can go forward a bit. There's a swivel above the knee, a swivel right here. There's a double jointed knee for the chicken leg thing, and then a pivot here for just basically for show, because he doesn't really use that to balance. The cloth, I got it at Walmart for like a couple bucks. It's a very soft fabric that falls really well. I just cut a couple holes in it to get his arms up through it. And then the chain was just some metal chain I got for like $1. And then the hood, since it's the same thing, I just cut this stuff and then put a little wire underneath it. That was it. I cut a hole in the back of this so he could put his shotgun on his back. And that's it. Now, would I suggest this Megatron? Do I think he's the best Megatron in the Studio Series line? No. But is he a fun Megatron? Yeah, I think he looks good. I think he looks big, imposing. I think he looks... Because in the Dark of the Moon movie, he didn't do a lot, but it was just the design of him, this looming figure with a shotgun and a tarp over him. He looked creepy and weird, and, you know, you could tell he was injured, but you still didn't want to, like... I mean, would you really want to attack Megatron? So, yeah, I would suggest him if you're willing to deal with a few problems he has, and if you make your own cloak like I did with chain and stuff on it, it's just so much better. I like this idea for Megatron. You know, the way they did him for that movie. Wish they'd have done more with him than killing him off, you know, so quickly. But I do love this figure. This is probably one of my favorite Studio Series figures. And by being biased, I would tell you to get it, but I would say just what I did before you drop $50 on this guy. Definitely watch the reviews and think about what you want to do. Maybe wait for a sale. For me, like I said, the shotgun, making my own tarp, and Igor kind of ended up selling me on this because to me the pros did outweigh the cons. So, yeah. Hope this was helpful. Hope you guys liked a little bit of the mod I did to him here. And until next time, this has been your beloved Soldier of the Inverted Cross, Rip the Full-Blown Freak Show, a.k.a. the Gold Member, signing off. Farewell.